G'day mate, 40 here. So I don't understand something. Why is it when I ask people who've been sick, who have had the flu, who've been gone due to terrible back pain or something like that, when I ask people, how are you? I usually elicit a defensive response of, why? Why are you asking me? Like, to me, it seems like the most innocent inquiry in the world. How are you? How are you feeling? What's going on? Haven't seen you for a couple of weeks. Haven't seen you for 3 weeks. Or, I know you had the flu. How are you feeling now? How's your recovery? I don't get it. Why does this question elicit a defensive and sometimes an aggressive response? Like, oh, are you monitoring me? Is there something weird about me? Is it me? Is there something I'm doing wrong? Am I off? Am I being intrusive? Are people just tired of being asked how are you when they've been sick? Do you have this experience too? Like, what's wrong with asking people how are you? Or why do you think I'm always going wrong? It seems like when I ask people how are you, I just elicit this defensive response like, why are you asking? And like a few days ago, they tell me, oh, I've got this killer flu, or I've got this killer back pain, or I've got this killer, physical problem. And, I'm just absolutely down for the count. I'm just lying flat in bed. And so I follow up, a few days later. So how's it going now? How are you feeling? And it's like, why do you ask? So one day they're telling me about like the pain that they're in and the discomfort they're in and what they're struggling and what they're fighting through. And then when I follow up, it's like, oh, why do you ask? I mean, maybe it's just because we forget so easily, suffering. So we were suffering one day, but the next day we're feeling better, so we forget how bad it was. When Luke asks, how are you? People hear, would you like to have sex with me? All right, so is it mainly women who react this way to me? Does anyone else have this problem? I mean, I may just be weirding people out. Is this intrusive? Whatever it is, how are you just does not seem to be a good question to ask, or how are you feeling? And so what's a good alternative? Like when you run into someone, I mean, if someone's is confided in you that they've been in terrible pain and suffering, right? This is what I don't get. They confide in you how much pain and suffering they were in, like 3 days ago, and then you follow up 3 days later. So how are you feeling? And it's like, why do you ask? I like that. There's the confiding in 1 minute, and then there's this defensive, why do you ask, 2, 3, 4 days later? And I don't get it. One moment you're confiding, and then the next moment is like, why are you bothering me? Why are you imposing? Why are you intruding? So, sup? I think that's better. Sup? What's up, bro? That's just too many words, and sometimes half the world are not bros. So I like sup. So a lot of people, that's how I greet them, sup. And that seems to work much better than how are you? And so tell me, is this just me, or does this happen to you too? Because maybe I'm misreading a situation. Maybe there's a better path. Maybe I'm weirding people out. Maybe I have to look at myself and do a complete inventory. So I ask you, how are you? What's going on? How are you feeling?